Yo, what's good, my people? Oh, go on. It's your boy Jason Gooner back in the building. And you know what time it is? It's another EPL review show. We are here after week 10, people. Can you believe it? 10 matches already in the EPL. It's shaping up nicely for some, not so nice for some. But I don't know. My team right now, we in the mud, people. I'm not going to lie to you. Um, yeah, a lot of things to discuss from this week, though. Basically, it didn't really go to script this week. You know, a lot of the teams that you think would have been favored to win, they did not pull out the results this week. So, a lot of indifferent results for a lot of the teams that we might have been looking to, make some ground in the league this week. So, all in all, it was a tough week for predictions as well. I think this is the first week I can remember, people, to be honest, the first week I can remember that, nobody had a winning record in the predictions. Winning record in the predictions. This haven't happened yet since we started it. 7-3, 8-2. I think the worst week so far has been 6-4. But this is the first week, people, since I've been doing this from week 1, where nobody in the predictions got more wins than losses in the table. So it was a crazy week to predict, people. Believe me. I'm sure Vegas did very well. Bless up, Sean. Go on, big up yourself. Yeah, I saw the provisional squad for Suriname, Sean. Was expecting some more names to get over the line, but still looking good. You got some new people in as well. So yeah, man. So Canada could potentially be out without a center back. I don't know if you heard that, Sean, if you're still here, but I think what's his name was stretched off at the weekend, Cornelius from Marseille. So that's one of their starters that could potentially be out. So yeah. Big up Richard Wagwan. Top man. Yeah, man. Hold that Gooner. Yeah, we have to hold that. We can't run from it, brother. Reality, I'm a seasoned Gooner fan, so this is not new to have to deal with these things in the course of a season. A bit early for us, but we did the same last year. We had 2 losses in a row. I think it was West Ham and Fulham, but it was like December time the last time. So hopefully we can go on another run like we did last year right now, because we need it. Yeah, man, big up, man. I know, sir, banter is a must in these platforms and programs, As a football fan, if you're afraid of bantering, just find a next sport, yeah, man. Because, believe me. Big up, Duke, what you say? Yeah, man, we have to take a break from all the politics talk on the television, Talk about some football and take my mind off it, brother. Believe me. I want to do some programming tomorrow night, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get away from, keeping up with what's going on, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, it's a crucial time right now in the country where I reside. So people, if you are a citizen of the United States, believe me, go out and vote, people. I'm not telling you who to vote for, and do what I want to do, but exercise your rights to vote. Be a part of the process, Don't feel like you didn't do your part. Yes, I got my early voting done, myself and the family. We took the kids so they could experience it as well. That was a good experience for the family. So that's done. And I did my civic duty, Yeah. Anyway, people, we're not there for the politics talk. You know what we're here for. We're here for the football talk. So let's get right into it, people. I wish this game wasn't first, but the first game this week is the one where I dread to talk about. All right, people, I think you guys probably have a hint of what game we're going to talk about first. All right, so, if you watch this show or you've seen this program before, well, first and foremost, before we get going, the YouTube things, people. Like the video. You guys been doing a good job lately. The viewership kind of closer to the, whoever amount of people were there in the building, the likes them are reached those same targets and the amount of viewers. So we love that. Let's keep that going, people. Of course, you can help me as well by sharing the content. You know what I mean? A lot of you are in your various groups of legions of fans of different channels and blah, blah, blah. Share the content inside there, people, so more people can learn about Jason Gooner and what he brings to the table as far as football commentary and analysis and banter and comedy and all them things there. Yeah. And then, of course, if you're brand new to the channel, if you have if a friend of yours has shared the content with you, if you're a football fan and you're just on YouTube and you have happened to stumble across the channel, yeah man, stick around for a bit, see how we do things here, and then absolutely subscribe if you like what you see. All right, people? Yeah man, just do those things for me and everything will be good. I don't really want to stop talking about football once I get going, so I wanted to get that out there. All right, so the first game, as I said, people, first game is gonna be Arsenal versus Newcastle. Of course, this game was at St. James's Park, and in this fixture right here, Arsenal lost the game 1-0, courtesy of a goal up from. If anybody who knows me, they know every time I'm asked what striker in the world do I want Arsenal to get, the player who sunk us on Saturday morning is who I always say, Alexander Isak. I know he has his injury issues from time to time, but when this guy plays, he produces. And I think I saw that. I think he has something crazy like maybe 17 goals in his last 17 appearances or something like that for Newcastle. Something like 12 in 12 at home. Crazy stats, good numbers. And honestly, since he's been at Newcastle, has been pretty consistent. Maybe obviously, Haaland is around, so of course everything is measured off of that. But Isak is right up there in terms of players in history of the EPL. Actually, when they come to the league, what kind of numbers they put up. So Isak for sure a player that I've always liked. Even when he was at Real Sociedad before he even went to Newcastle, I was wanting Arsenal to get him, and I have just been further convinced since his time at Newcastle. Now, in this game, the goal came early in the 12th minute. And I think, when we conceded the goal, I honestly felt, okay, we've conceded, it's 12 minutes. I really didn't see a scenario where Arsenal wouldn't score in the game. Little did I know that what we're about to see in terms of attacking from Arsenal on the day. I just thought it was just so vanilla how Arsenal played this game. There was no cutting edge. Everything was just, it seemed so strained and, no fluidity. You really didn't see much interchange in the players. The one set of players that were interchanging, Trossard and Havertz, I wish they weren't, because I felt at times in this game we had no focal point, because I thought both of them were trying to play as like number 10s, and at times they just, neither one of them would occupy the defense. Everything was short. We didn't go any. I don't remember for the life of me one time where we played a pass in behind their defense and went after it. If we got behind their defense, it was somebody dribbling past somebody, or it was a combination of short passes while we got in behind. It was nothing direct. To me, that's what this attack from Arsenal was missing. You saw at times when we play certain teams or when something's not working, we go to that direct, hit Havertz and play off of him. We never did that once in this game. I don't know if it's because we thought that the matchup wasn't favorable with Burn and Shaw in the middle. I don't know. Even if Burn wins the first ball, if you get players close enough to Havertz, maybe we pick up the scraps and we can go from there. And maybe that having that as an option might open up the midfield a bit more, because for me, that's where we lost the game. I think we didn't do enough with the possession, but a part of the reason why we didn't do a lot with the possession was I thought the midfield was excellent for Newcastle in terms of just, being connected to each other, blocking the spaces. Arsenal always likes to break the lines with the passes. I don't know if there's a stat. I don't think they have line breaking passes as a stat on SofaScore, but I can guarantee you whatever Arsenal's average is in a game, it was way down in this game from watching it. But I think a lot of the underlying metrics will show that Arsenal, didn't really play terribly in the game. Honestly, it really was just the final third and, parts of the middle third I had the issues with. Again, we saw with Arteta, and we have to question him, his decision making with some of these team selections. Now, when you look at the starting lineup, right, you see the back four there, Partey at right back again, which we saw against Liverpool. And to be fair to Arteta, Partey did a really good job at right back against Liverpool. That can't, I don't want to not state that, because that's a fact. And based on the stats and how he played, I don't think he played badly in the right back position in this game either. William Saliba had a decent game statistically. Magalhaes was a little bit lower, but I thought he was decent as well. I thought he a bit guilty of ball watching on the goal. And I thought Saliba, I wouldn't call it ball watching, but I think his awareness just wasn't all the way up, because on that cross, Isak is in between both players. Now, I understand from Saliba's standpoint, because Gabriel is a lot closer to him, so he was probably expecting him to be able to handle that situation. But if you look at the goal and the replay of the goal, when the goal goes in, Saliba really is in a dead space, not marking anybody. So at that point, the player closest to the goal is the most important player, which would be Isak. So I just feel like he wasn't aware enough to just inch towards him before that ball is arriving. And maybe, who knows, Isak is not the strongest player in the world. So, that header is a lot more difficult if you have a lean or someone is contacting him before he jumps. So that's something that I thought, nitpicking, but something that you could have cleaned up, and the header couldn't have been so free, right? Jurriën Timber at left back, not right back. So that's what I want to point out, people. Timber was fit to play. Hindsight 2020 always, but I'm telling you, the way I see it, Ben White clearly was fit enough to play because he came on for Timber. Now, maybe it was a case where Arteta is saying, I know Timber and White can't play 90 minutes, so I'm going to just start one of them. And since Partey played last week at right back and did so well, I can play him there again and I feel okay. And to be fair, the way they set up, Joe Linton on that left side is not the type of attacking and offensive threat as who we faced last week, the likes of Gakpo and Diaz and the likes of those players. Those players are players that you kind of worry about against Partey. For me, the way Joe Linton would attack Partey, I'm not so worried about it. It's kind of strength against strength type of thing. Now, I probably would have, in hindsight, though, I think we have seen right now, people, that when Rice and Marino play together and there's no Odegaard, because I think Rice and Marino can work, But for me right now, that they need a third creator in that system. And Trossard just had a bad game in this game. He's had games where he has looked okay in the Odegaard-ish role, but this game was not one of them. So, I would have had to have sacrificed probably Marino from the start, put Partey in midfield, right? What that does, honestly, is it frees Declan Rice up to play a little more free and attacking, which I think has worked out in his Arsenal career so far. He doesn't seem to be as effective in the team when he's the number 6 player, especially when we're in possession. Does a great job defensively all the time, but for whatever reason in this Arsenal system, he's not quite doing the things that I see Partey doing, or even the likes of Jorginho doing when we're in possession. I don't think Declan Rice really distributes the ball to enough levels when he has it. It's clearly left, right. That's what he wants to do. I think with Jorginho, you're going to get that through pass every now and again. Even with Partey, he's going to attempt that through pass and breaking line pass more, right? So I think we'll lose something in the midfield there. And honestly, Marino, so far from what I've seen, seems to be another safe type of possession passer. He's not really playing through passes. So that to me was a huge issue for Arsenal in this game, right? Just the lack of players willing to try something with the pass and not being so safe with the passes all the time. For me, I would have had Partey and Rice in the midfield, Ben White right back, Timber left back, and you see how far they can go with the 90 minutes. On the bench you have a Zinchenko, who you brought on as a player who can come on at left back. If it came to it, Partey could have moved to right back later in the game, but at that point you've solidified that midfield with Partey in it. So it could have been different there. Now, again, hindsight is 2020, but looking at the lineup, people, that is just what stands out to me. The lack of creativity in the midfield, especially when you factor in Trossard. Really, from early in the game, you could tell it wasn't really his game, right? So, that's everything on Arsenal for me. I think the Declan Rice Marino as a pivot, to me, it leaves us wanting. I think the pivot could potentially work, but only if Odegaard is that third player in the midfield with them, for me personally, right? Partey, I know it's been forced, especially the Liverpool game, it was forced. We didn't have enough players fit. I don't want to see Partey at right back as soon as White, Timber, As soon as we get back like the likes of a Calafiori, I don't want to see Partey at the right back anymore. I think he's way more valuable to us in the midfield. And I think, especially against Newcastle's midfield, taking Partey out of it was a big mistake, right? So that's what I will say there. Now, on the Newcastle side of things, like I said, let's just look at the metrics before I talk about Newcastle. So this is the stats for the game, right? So the first thing, the possession, 64% to 36. Now, that sounds great on Arsenal's side, but to be honest, that early 12-minute goal, I think, factored into this possession as well. Newcastle had something to defend. It's the natural nature of most teams. They're going to, say let's keep it solid, not really play our football as much anymore, and that's kind of how the game played out. Arsenal won the expected goals battle, 1.05 to 0.53. Both teams only created one big chance. It was a very tight midfield battle, I thought, in the game. Not much clear-cut opportunities. I think besides that late Declan Rice chance, I can't remember one that was a huge chance for either team after the goal, right? So 10 shots to 9 in favor of Arsenal. But you're going to see as I scroll down further, because I've looked at these stats since the game, I know that we were outshot in shots on target, right? Of course, their keeper didn't make any saves. Ours made 3, so that should give you a hint there. 6 corner kicks to 4 in favor of Arsenal. We had a lot more passes attempted, over 200 more. They out tackled us, which I thought was another key factor in the game. 50-50s, especially first half. I don't think we won one. They literally out hustled us to every ball in the first half, right? I think that just set the tone for the game. 4 shots to 1 on target. So all that possession even outshot them overall, but they still had 3 more shots on target. So just not clinical enough with the shots when we do take them. Inside the box, we had the same amount of shots, and we outshot them by 1 outside. Now, this is something I thought was important as well, people. So you see, I don't know if you guys can tell the shaded areas. So basically, wherever's the brightest green is where the ball was the most. This is Newcastle's attack. As you can see, they tended to come down that side where Partey was more than on Timber's side. And then for Arsenal now, of course, this is the right wing with Saka. Typically, that's where our play always is at. But if you look on that right side, we were mainly in the middle third, and I think they did a really good job of not letting Saka get the ball in any kind of one-on-one situation anywhere close to their box. Very rarely did Saka get the ball in any advantageous areas, right? If you look, we even went down the left side more in this game, and I think that was just what Newcastle was giving us. When we were trying to find the spaces, that's where they were. And I think they said, we'll take our chances with Martinelli and whoever's on that left side before we take our chances with Saka. And it was a good tactic because, as you can see, we did not create many goal-mouth chances in this one. They converted the big chance they had. We missed the one we had. Of course, I'm assuming they're talking about the Declan Rice chance late in the game to equalize the game. We had one through pass. Look at that, only one. We had more touches in the penalty area. We're fouled in the final third a couple more times. Let's see. This is Arsenal. So we played the majority of the game in the middle third and their defensive third. We had 200 odd more passes completed. Final third entries, we had 16 more as well. So for that little possession, 42 entries, not bad. So we definitely didn't do a good enough job of not even letting them enter the final third, in my opinion. Long passes, they had to go long a lot more. Didn't really take chances, especially in that second half. Just said, we're going route one, we'll pick up any scraps. If we don't, get back in our mid to low block and we'll call it a day. Crosses, we had quite a few complete, but obviously couldn't convert any of them. As you can see here, the duels, they had the edge, and I think this was obvious on the day. They just won. A part of me just thinks that they just wanted it more in some of the challenges, and it was there to see. Defending, they had more tackles won and everything. So I think that Arsenal was outworked in this one. And in essence, you have to be honest and say they were outplayed as well because a lot of the stats, the pretty stats, the possession and things of this nature, we had that, but the real tangible ones like shots on target and things of this nature, they had us beating that. So, they did a lot with a little of the ball, and we did barely anything with a lot of the ball. So, it is what it is. Newcastle on the day, though, I thought Lewis Hall was excellent. I thought he really deserved to get the highest rating. As I said, Saka had a decent statistical day, but for his level that he's been playing at this season, 7.3 is low for him. He's averaging 8 or better in this league so far. So, we can't really say that the 7.3 is that great for Saka. If you look on the other, I think it makes perfect sense to me that the two fullbacks got the highest marks. They were really, really good in the game. Martinelli, right when we thought maybe he's getting some kind of form, has some decent returns lately. It wasn't his day in this one at all. 6.3, I think, that might even be a little nice for him as well. I thought Timber struggled on the day too. Not just with the yellow card and everything. I just thought this whole left side just never really clicked on this day. Partey and Saka I thought were a bit better. Rice and Marino I thought did well defensively, but again, just too safe in possession for me. Not enough driving forward with whether it's passing or dribbling. I think Raya did okay after the goal was conceded, and not much he could have done on the goal either. And Havertz, as I said, I think he was just too all over the place for me, just not staying up front enough in this one. But yeah, that was very hard. I just talked for a long time, but I had to. They all laughed at me, but they're not laughing now. Big up at Chile, big up. Alan Shearer proud of the header. That's a fact, Richard Edwards. That was an Alan Shearer, Les Ferdinand special, some old-time Newcastle striker, That was a great, great, great cross, though. I have to give him credit. I mean, I know I was saying Magalhaes and Saliba could have done better, but to be honest, that ball was inch perfect, too. Bless up, Gigs. What you say? Talking about now, we Arsenal dropped 3 points. 3 games in a row. Yeah, boy, I tell you how chill. The reverse psychology work, brother. I remember you putting that in the comments for real. DJ Geek said, is it fair to say that Arsenal doesn't have the players that if the strikers not delivering, not many players in the squad can get a goal like in this game against Newcastle? Is it fair to say that Arsenal doesn't have the players that if the strikers not delivering, not many players in the squad can get a goal like in this game against Newcastle? No, I don't think I don't buy into the it's a lack of a striker why we didn't score in this game. I've seen Havertz play striker for Arsenal and be a terror in his Arsenal career already, so I know he can do it. I just think because Odegaard's not there, Arteta is trying to do this like it's almost like he's playing with 2 strikers, but he's not. And I think what ends up happening is like, at points you'll see Havertz dropping deeper than Trossard, and I feel like at some point he had to just tell Kai, hey Kai, I know you want to come drop and help, but like honestly, we need you to just stay with Byrne and Shaw. Like please. Or if it wasn't gonna be Kai, let Trossard do it. But I think too often they both were just dropped deep and we didn't have a 9. So I just thought, in other games the synergy between them has been flawless. In this one, they never quite figured it out. It seemed like they were never at the right place, So much crying over the loss. No, man, may I try figure out the loss, brother. Because it's some things tactically I think that Arteta can get better. And he just not, I'm not doing it right now. You know what I mean? And I've seen him make adjustments before this that make sense. But to me, he keeps going back to this well and it's dry. Just come on, switch it up. Yeah, man, it worked, Chile. It worked, man. Big up Conrad, what you say? Outside. Actually, I think it's a lack of point, man, that is hurting Arsenal. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because, look, you can say what you want to say, Havertz is a 10, a 9.5, a 8.5, whatever. When Havertz playing as a 9, in whatever way and style in playing, is effective. But I'm telling you, since this Odegaard missing, and it's him and Trossard. It's like a hybridish thing, and it's not working. Just put him back up front. Look at like earlier in the season when I think which side would he play? I will start do some Havertz just up top, pick one of the wing them, go direct to him. We never even tried that in this game, not once. So I don't know, and I think it's a byproduct of playing this like dual false nine thing, where like literally there is no nine ever. Two of them just false. Who want some truth? Yeah, man. But kudos to Newcastle. Them get the win. St James Park. I was saying it was losing its luster to make my argument as to why Arsenal would go there and win. But yeah, man, the players from Newcastle went hard for that victory, and in the end, they were deserved winners. You know what I mean? So Newcastle won, Arsenal nil. Sad day for me people, sad day. But the day continued and more football was played, and I didn't feel so terrible after all the results, to be totally honest. All right, so the next game of the day, none other than Bournemouth and Manchester City people, and yes, you don't have to scratch out your eyeballs. That is the score, 2-1 to Bournemouth. Now, everybody in here is football fans, so I don't know what I'm already in terms of these games, but this game, good game, really good game. I thought that Manchester City, to be honest, so far this season, if you even look at some of the games that they have won, I feel like they had even more chances to win this one than some of the ones that they have lost. You know what I mean? But I think in the end, Bournemouth would have been cruel on Bournemouth to get less than a point. Like if they had somehow won this game 3-2, it would have been like criminal, because Bournemouth definitely deserves something out of the game. I thought Kirkes, a player who I've been tracking, watching, watched him at the Euros just to see how he functioned in his national team, look really good there. I think he's only like 21 or 22, so definitely a player that I think is going to get a big move very shortly, to be honest. Semenyo, another one I think on the cusp. Let me see how old Semenyo is now. I don't think he's that old enough. At 24, so good age. A beast out there really, but still has good technical ability as well. Shoot with both foot with power and accuracy. And if I think if he keeps the consistency in his performance, I think he'll also net Bournemouth a lot of bread when they sell him. Evan Nielsen showing up to the party now, looking to get more comfortable in the league. Quality goal scorer throughout his career in Europe so far. So, never expected. I mean, obviously, on a team like Bournemouth, well, you can't really say that because Solanke got almost 20 goals with them a season ago. So yeah, I would be shocked if he get all the way there this year. But I think 10 goals for Evan Nielsen is a realistic target. Got started off a little slowly, but I think he will continue to kick on. And I do think that Bournemouth have enough in terms of the players supplying him that can, get him some chances to score. I think if you give him enough chances, he will get goals in this league. Erling Haaland, another day, no goals. So I think, how many games is that now? Let's see. It's been a few, people. I'm scoring a Champions League. But, okay, yeah, he did get the one goal last week. That's right. So it's only been a week, people. See how long more I'd say the man not score? But before that in the league, yeah, it's been a few. So one in his last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Champions League alone, him have strength for 5. Okay, so 1 in his last 5, 2 in his last 6. If I keep going back though, it get better. So let's just say 1 in his last 5. And for Haaland, that is like a crisis. But yeah, as you can see, the options are kind of minimal in terms of what Pep has to work with. I think he said he only had 8 fully fit players or something like that. I know he said Kyle Walker wasn't 100, which I do agree with him. He looked like he could barely really run. I saw Semenyo just run past the man a few times. I'll bounce him down, them things that normally happen. Bernardo Silva is fit. Foden is back fit, but you can see he's not quite as sharp. He had some chances that Foden usually buried that he couldn't finish. Ake, you could tell wasn't 100% either. Akanji wasn't quite, his most powerful self. So I do think that they're having some issues with the fitness. A good sign for them though was Doku came on late, who has been coming back from injury. He looked sharp, so that will be a big boost for them coming back. And yes, Savinho, De Bruyne, I think we're just really on the bench to have a name because I don't think neither one of them were fit enough to play. I feel like if they were, they would have came on. You know what I mean? So um, I don't think it's a crisis per se for City in terms of the injuries, but the players who are available need to get 100%. I think this international break coming at a good time for them. And with most of their players nursing injuries, I saw today as well. I think Haaland might have had an issue in training, so who knows? Maybe Pep just want the man go down so he can tell Norway again, yo, man, not forward, because I feel like if Haaland go on right now, people, it's rough, I know it's City and them always find a way, but Rodri, no Haaland. And then, last year they had Alvarez and other people, but honestly, people, I guess if him go down, them just going to play Phil as a false nine, Gooner and turn back the clock and go play there again. I don't know. I don't know what they would turn to. Maybe them have an academy youth we don't know about yet. But yeah, it's tough. But we're not crying out tears for City. I could say how them can work out this situation. But Bournemouth, I think this team, when you look at it, they must be on cloud nine. They got the 3 points against Arsenal at home. They got the 3 points against Man City at home. That is that's basically the first and second place teams from last year. So, big results for them. I think I've always liked this coach since he's been there, and I hate that it was against my team, but I'm glad he's getting some of these results because I do think that what he has brought to this team and his style is implemented. I think he's improved a lot of the players they have as well. He does deserve to get some big scalps so that people can start to take notice. I think he's a really good coach. Actually, yeah, really good coach, I think, Iraola. So that was the 2-1 Bournemouth and City. I think it was one person, Yeah, so RR said that would be the result here, and so did Big G. So big up to them and Avis as well. So there were actually 3 people that said that Bournemouth was going to win this game. One said 3-1, the other 2 had it right at 2-1. So big ups to Uno. I'm sure when I saw those, I was probably laughing and making some kind of comment, but yeah. It might not be working for Arsenal, but it is working for I use the word strikers because wingers are considered strikers. I also like Man City team got many goal scorers in their squad. Do they though, DJ Gigs? Do they have many goal scorers in their squad? Haaland scores the bulk of the goals. I don't know if they have many goal scorers in their squad, DJ Gigs, to be honest. I don't think anybody else get more than 5. It's really just Foden and Haaland, really, I would consider goal scorers. And we're using the term with Foden loosely, because I'm not scored this season, I think. I do agree with this. I think if you just give Trossard a role, he will play it. But all of this, you're a striker, you're a midfielder, you're a little bit of both. No, just let the man play left wing, number 10, or striker, or false 9, whatever you want to call it. Just give him a role. And can play on the right too. So just give him a damn role, let him play it. This is where the weekend finished to be. Bless up Vinny Congo, yeah, deal it. Warren Webster been waiting all season to say words like this, Big up Spurs to the world. Yeah, man. Big win for Spurs. We can't go around that one day. City losing too much of the aerial duels in the middle. Yeah, there's no Rodri effect, brother. It's a real thing. It's a reason why your win percentage is a lot different when he doesn't play. Semenyo is a good player and nightmare for defense. Agreed. I think consistency is the only thing, bro. I see him play some game and he's anonymous. I wonder, how can you be anonymous, bro? You're so good. Chile said Kyle hasn't been 100 for a year now. Yeah. I mean, it happens, There's a lot of miles in those legs, The man are starting at the Prem for like 15 years now. Haaland goes going up when KDB fit to play. That is true. Usually that's a correlation right there. And to be honest, him now no wingers are supplying right now. I mean, he came into the season with Savio and Doku and Grealish and all these wingers, and now he don't have none of them. No, Stones and Diaz injured. Yeah, I think that's also a problem, because Diaz is a glue around there, and I think Akanji not 100 either, and he would need to be 100 if Diaz ain't there. So them having some bad luck with the injuries. Can't go around that either. Big up flow to you say. Why if I go down? I don't even remember what I'm saying I do, but in a tired for say why, brother. Why King? Big 6 points that. Yeah man, huge. The two so-called favorites for the title in the bookies' eyes. Yeah, that's huge. For say yeah man, the two of them forward over here and we take 3 points from the two of them. Haaland and Vardy right now. Yeah, that's it. And them two man, they alone want to score. Mm-hmm. But I think, yeah, man, it's the Rodri effect, bro. It's gonna happen all season. You're gonna say, yo, you guys gonna have days like this where random team just beat you. Things that don't normally happen. All right, this game, mad game. Ipswich versus Leicester City people. So, what did say Leicester was gonna pull out that one, but in the end, it was an injury time goal by AU, which was a brilliant goal, by the way. Um, Also, actually, it was two brilliant goals in this game because Leif Davis scored an excellent goal as well. Pissed me off too because for whatever reason, me decide for bench Leif Davis this week, knowing that I'm playing another team in the championship with them last year at home. So if you have Leif Davis, Jay, out of all the game them for bench, man, why you choose that game? And of course, it was almost a brilliant game because for 94 minutes he had a clean sheet with the goal. But of course, the equalizer conceded by Jordan AU off the bench. Um, One of the players that they signed that they close to the deadline that I was very, very, very sad about because I figured, these are all players that can play somewhere where Bobby play. Jordan AU, Facundo Bonanate, they also picked up El Canus in the summer as well. So all of these players can play anywhere. Bobby can play anywhere in these three, and those players play all along any of those places as well. So yeah, and then I saw when they got what's the guy from Crystal Palace, Hudson Edward. I said, damn, so that means because basically my hope was all right, they got AU, he'll probably be a foil for Vardy. But no, AU can also play left and right too. So now that they have Edward as well, it's like, damn, where does Bobby fit? You know what I mean? And we didn't see him this week. I'm hopeful that he's not an injury. I'm kind of sad that he's not making bench at all, but I'm just hopeful that it's not an injury. He's not listed with any injury, which is a decent sign. But I guess we'll find out Friday what the deal is with Bobby. But we did see him play in the cup game in a week, so we know that is unless he got injured in that game, then he should be okay. But this one, as I said, people, 1-1 exciting game, honestly, because I think both teams had their spells in the game. I thought Leicester started the game better. Ipswich grew into it and, pretty much had the upper hand, basically to half time and a little bit past once they got the goal. And then, of course, like typical Premier League battles when the teams are kind of evenly matched. Once a team scores, it's like automatic the other team is probably going to start to get into the game a bit more to equalize. So that's kind of how this one played out, and that's pretty much how it played out until right at the end when AU was able to find that goal. Now, one thing I did want to touch on about Leicester's goal, it reminded me it wasn't as egregious as the Brighton goal they conceded last week when they had the 4-1 and they gave away the ball, but it was something that I thought was a mistake on the part of Sam Morrissey, their experienced captain. He kind of dribbled into no man's land on the wing, and it looked as if he was just like kind of half expecting the referee to just call a foul. The challenge was clean though. I think it was Boubacar Samari who had come off the bench, got the ball from him, went down the wing. I think he shouldered off. I want to say it was Pereira or somebody else. and then played the pass inside to AU, who took it neatly with the control inside of his right foot, played a pass into the middle to Vardy, and Vardy with a like inch perfect return pass, just the right amount of weight on it to not let the keeper get it before AU, who ran to and slotted home neatly. So a really well worked equalizing goal, and just good calm in such a late time of the game to fashion a goal of such an intricate nature. I thought it was brilliant from Leicester to get the equalizer. So, good game of football. I think honestly, when you look at the overall gameplay and everything, I think both teams could have said they deserve something. If anything, I thought Leicester maybe slightly edged it and maybe deserved it more than Ipswich. But yeah, Ipswich held their own, I thought, on the day and did well to not concede more than what they did. Leicester did have more chances, took more shots and everything. Had slightly better expected goals too. So, like I said, I mean, I don't think anybody can be super upset with the points being shared. But if one team, deserved it more, I would have to lean a little bit towards Leicester, honestly. But yeah, decent game of football. I think Ipswich, probably on the balance of play, just have to be happy with the point. They didn't lose; they got something out of it. And Leicester probably would say, well, on another day, if we're a little bit more clinical, and I have to give the keeper from Ipswich some credit as well. I thought Morich had some good saves, so that definitely helped out in their case. Of course, they did have to play the end of the game. A man down, Calvin Phillips getting a second yellow in that second half with about 13 minutes left, which I think that really didn't help their cause at all. Um, yeah, they tried to use some dark arts and whatnot, but keep telling people don't do that. It's just going to add more time at the end. And of course, 94th minute, that was enough for AU to equalize. So 1-1, they shared the spoils, and they're going to have to move on to the next week now and try to find 3 points somewhere else. That's Ipswich, that is. All right, now Liverpool and Brighton. So this is the one team, people, this Liverpool team that never want to read the script for the week. So the team them were challenged for the title, supposed to lose or drop points. These guys went down 1-0, which for them this season I don't think is happening very often. Kadioglu with a brilliant goal, brilliant shot in the box on his right foot to the far post, off the post and in the first half. And I think honestly, this game for me, it was a case of Brighton just not putting the game away. I thought in the first half, well, not even the first half. I thought, in the first half, they definitely had the chances, I thought, to put the game to bed. When you look at let me see, Kaliaglu scored, then Welbeck, okay, that was blocked. All right, so this is the one, people. So Reuter in on goal, 1-on-1, shoots it way too close to Kelleher, so he saves that. So for me, that should have been 2-0. And then this one right here, man, I don't know how Kadioglu missed this one, It was easier than the first one, and the man put it over high. So, all right, not being greedy, but let's just say one of those two. Not saying that 2-0 the game is over, but the first half was when they should have got at them and got a bigger lead. I thought they played better than them in the first half, to be honest. And it wasn't until the second half when Liverpool kind of picked up things. And yeah, I think in the end, how well they played in the second half, I think they were good value for the win. But again, you have to take advantage when you are on top in this league, and I don't think Brighton did that enough in that first half. The more Liverpool grew into the game, there was always a chance. It was on the cards at Anfield. That atmosphere, it was almost it began to get a feeling of inevitability at times in that second half, and it definitely came and it was quick. 70th minute goal from Gakpo, a bit of luck, but you always want to play that shape and that pass from that area because you never know, it can go right in, which it did. And then you also had Mo Salah. I mean, if you never seen Salah play, I ask somebody to show you one of his goals that would show you, how he does his thing. I think this goal would probably be Exhibit A, because we've seen that goal I don't know how many goals he scored, but I'd want to say at least 50 like that from Salah for Liverpool. Very simply, just creating space on that left foot. And then once he pretty much picks his spot, I would say about what 7, 8 out of 10 is probably a goal. So yeah, man, when he gets into them areas, you know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? But look, Brighton, I'm still impressed by this team. To be honest, I think Danny Welbeck at this point is like one of the best players in the league this season. Like he's so consistent at this point with his performance. Um, I think he had a really good free kick in this one as well. For Bragging, his form has definitely stepped up. I thought he was really off form in the beginning, early stages of the season, but he's definitely getting back to the form that has seen him pretty much become the number one for Holland now. Van Heck, a player that I'm still watching closely because I think that he could potentially be the new partner at centre back for Van Dijk for the national team of Netherlands. Maybe the Inter Milan defender De Vrij might have something to say about that. But as far as like EPL defenders, I would put him above De Ligt at this point. Honestly, I think Van Heck is a little more accomplished on the ball, and he's also strong enough in the challenges to where I'm good with him back there. They did miss the leadership of Lewis Dunk. I think Dunk was a doubt for the game and couldn't make it. So Igor Julio, capable replacement was in there. Veltman had a poor game statistically, Purvis as well. So I don't think they did a good enough job just, quieting down Salah and Gakpo. Not the easiest task in the world, but I don't think they did a great job with that. Um, one player that I think has kind of flattered to deceive for a good little while now, honestly, is Cairo Mitoma. I know maybe 2 seasons ago it was when he kind of burst on the scene. He's somebody that a lot of teams, at bigger levels than Brighton would have been talking about and looking at. Now, statistically, it's not terrible, 6.95 as the rating. But I think what really has dried up is the goal contributions. 1 goal, 2 assists so far this season. Um, let's see, big chance creation. So he has created 3 big chances. Um, but yeah, 3 big chances created in 10. It's not the worst, but I just feel like they're not really getting the best out of him. Ruta gets himself into really good positions. One thing that I am kind of pleasantly surprised about, his build-up play is pretty good. Like his link up with other players. I just think the clinical, him just need to work on that. Kind of a lot like how Welbeck was earlier in his career in terms of like a lot of the things you see him doing on the pitch are great, but in that final moment maybe just needs a little bit more composure. But I think he's one that is proving to be a decent level Prem player for sure. Only 22 still, which people forget. He's kind of been bouncing around Europe for a few years now, but he's still only 22. So a lot of growth still left for his game. So good player. I think will become a decent player. Once he gets a little bit older, more consistent with his performance, right? I thought Gomez actually did decent in the second half. Hopefully, Kanate is not a long term for my fantasy team, but if it is, we just get rid of him, right? No big deal. I do think though Slot deserve a little bit of credit because I thought it was a big shout to not start Diaz in this one. I think Gakpo has been kind of knocking down the door with some of his performances, so it's good to see that he was okay with doing that. Also, big call to lean on Andy Robertson with the quote unquote second team in the cup and start Simicas in the league, and he rewarded him with a man of the match performance at left back. So that's one thing that I will say about Slot that I've liked so far. He doesn't really seem to be married to any players. He's just like, all right, I'm just going to look at this objectively each week. Maybe he's seen some things in training that's making him say that. Maybe he felt Robertson was at fault for the Saka goal. So this is kind of like, okay, let's see what Simicas can do in the league now. I just feel like some of these decisions, he's just making them with no apology, and it's working out for him. So you have to give him some credit. Seems to be pushing all the right buttons with the team. Trent has been really consistent this season, very good performance. I think the way the team plays is not exposing him as much. So, this is a long stretch of time where we haven't seen any footage from the pundits or anybody else saying, boy, Trent is a horrible defender. So, and that has to be a partly due to the system. It's not like Trent overnight just became this great defender, but the coach has realized that we might have an issue exposing Trent. Let's try to fix that. And I think he's done a good job of that. So, I said it in preseason, people. This coach has impressed me with his tactics from what I see. And it is turning out to be the truth so far this season. Now, is the way they're playing sustainable? That remains to be seen. As I said, there were long stretches of this first game that, Brighton should have put this game maybe not out of sight, but at least just a much more advantageous position for themselves. And they weren't able to do so. And I've seen a lot of performances by Liverpool this season where, maybe they haven't even played better than the other team, but, in credit to them, they have been able to get the results and find the goals. So, and they have been really stingy in defense too. So, that will win your championships. Good defense, scoring at the right times, never give up mentality as well. So, yeah, man, let's continue to track this team. I don't know if I'm quite ready yet to say that they are like favorites or anything. I know they have a 5-point lead. No, was it that much? We'll check the table in a minute, but I know they're 7 points ahead of Arsenal, who who I really care about. But yeah, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't even make them my favorites just now. I think 28 more games, so that's 84 more points to play for. A little bit early to say, all right, this is Liverpool's title because they have this lead right now. You know what I mean? There's still a lot of fixtures to be played. Just the other day, Slot was saying, of all the quote unquote big teams in the top of the table, they've only played, well, he said they only played United, which I think he was just being nice because I don't know if you can class them as a big team in 2024-25 Premier League context, right? So, their fixtures will get more difficult, and we'll see. This was a difficult one. They passed this test. It wasn't easy. I wouldn't say they got an A+, but they passed it, and they got 3 points, and that's more than a lot of the teams around them can say this weekend. So, big ups to Liverpool and their fan base. They can scream loud now for this week, but let's see if they can do it in more weeks than this. Big up next up. Wow, go on. The why them never there for once Jamaican in the chat. Yeah, man. Even when me I talk about ball and them know say the context is that them still want why the ball and them want why the content brother them all after them start. Manners and respect all the time. Big up yourself, Francis. Paying tribute to the Arsenal. That be nice. Bless up actually one bonus. Yes, sir. One word to sum up for the Liverpool game is just disappointing. Brighton had one job. Yeah, man, Brighton. They look like they must up to the job too for long stretches, brother. But you have to get Liverpool 2 goals down, bro. They're gonna find that equalizer, and then to concede so quick after the equalizer was deflating, But yeah, Liverpool the only one at the top that got the 3 points. So big up to them. Well, one of two of start counter next side in there who soon get to their game. All right, so the next game that we're going to talk about is the next game, which was the team that I was just about to talk about, Forest. So Forest people, this win got them all the way up to third in the table. I know no one in this chat can tell me that people said after 10 weeks Forest would be third in the table. If you did think that, then boy, I don't know if I tell you, it must be a Forest fan. All right, so this was the game basically, 3-0 to Forest. Boy, West Ham, I'd asked a question a few weeks back, who going to get sacked first? And I know I had Ten Hag in there. I had who is now sacked. I had Lopetegui in there. I can't remember. There was a third guy we were talking about, but I think Lopetegui and Ten Hag were the front runners at the time. And the vote was kind of split. Some were saying Ten Hag, more were saying Lopetegui would get fired first, but Ten Hag ended up winning that dubious race there. But yeah, Lopetegui I don't know, man. This guy is clutching at straws at this point. Every week him change the team, and every week him can't get a tune out of the team. This time him try Somerville from the start. No Antonio, Bowen in the front line. Paqueta and Somerville. I don't know, man. It's just, of course, Somerville comes off at halftime. He brings Antonio on. I think if you look at the games this season, I bet he's made 1 or 2 subs every halftime. That just goes to show like he's not getting the tactics right from the beginning. Every game, you're subbing off people at halftime. So you say you don't rate the team you pick so much. Kudos being suspended is a huge loss. They don't have that width on that side. He went with the back three system this time. He's been going back and forth. Well, actually, this might be the first time he's gone to this. I actually was thinking he should go to this earlier because I don't think he has the cover in midfield. So you might as well just do what you can in midfield and have a little more cover behind them. He tried to do that, but didn't work out at all. Chris Wood continues his fine form, got a goal. Hudson-Odoi got a goal, and Ola Aina peak strike with the left foot. What a goal. So Nottingham Forest rolls right along, people. I mean, is this sustainable? Do we have to start thinking Forest is a legitimate contender for Europe at this point, or is it still too early? Still 84 points more to play for, so we're not sure if this can last. But as of right now, they're very tough. I mean, they don't concede a lot of goals. The goals have been picking up lately with Chris Wood's rich vein of form and Hudson-Odoi, I think, also right there with him in terms of his form lately. Maybe not as prolific with the goals and the category of goal production, but overall threat in the games, I think he's always doing it now, much more consistently at least than one time. And they have a settled back four at this point with a keeper that's on form. So, I feel like the way, as I said before, the way Nuno set up his team, they're always going to be difficult to beat and score a lot of goals on. So as long as they can keep the core together without too many serious injuries or suspensions, I think they're going to keep getting results, Maybe not at the level that they have been lately, but I don't see a massive fall off coming from this team, barring any kind of injury crisis, But basically our boy Antonio came on at halftime at a 6.7. I don't know for the life of me why the man never to start the game, because I think we've learned a few times now that, whenever West Ham is dangerous, he's usually on the field. He played 45 minutes, no shots on target, had 1 half target, 0 for 1 dribbling, 13 touches in the half on the pitch. He had 6 accurate passes out of 8. He did have 1 key pass in that as well, 1 of 1 on long passes. Lost the only ground duel and was 1 of 3 on the aerials, and lost the ball 4 times out of the 13 touches. So, I don't know, man. This man is searching and searching, but can't find the answers, people. I'm telling you, really, really struggling and cannot find the answer them. Elliot Anderson again, I used to have ball, man. So Gibbs White came back this game and he benched Anderson, but Anderson forward on and look there. He better than Gibbs White. Yeah, man, Anderson a good baller, man. When Gibbs White was out, man, show me something in that same Gibbs White role. Good baller. So West Ham 3-0 up to third. Yes, I said it. Third. Can't believe that. That's crazy. All right, next game now. Now, this was a huge win for Southampton, and it proved to be even bigger because Beto did equalize, or what he thought was an equalizer, in the 92nd minute, but the goal was cancelled by VAR. So Aaron Ramsdale putting in a man of the match performance. To be fair to Ramsdale, every now and again he would do the same for Arsenal in the past. Just have days where he just refuses to get beaten in a goal. And this was kind of his first one for Southampton since he signed with them. And luckily for him, it came in a 1-0 victory where they got the late goal from Adam Armstrong. Armstrong, their leading goal scorer in the champ. A couple seasons now I've seen him in this league, and the goals just don't tend to translate to the Premier League. He doesn't bang in the goals nearly as much as when he's in the Championship. So, um, big up to Adam Armstrong getting on the score sheet in this one. Kyle Walker-Peters had a good game at right back. Still know that maybe that's a player that could enter the fray for Jamaica at some point. So we always like to check up on him and what he's doing. I think he's had a couple of good games in a row now for Southampton after the coach was kind of playing with the lineup a bit and he wasn't starting. Looks to have kind of solidified his place again after his performances lately. Let's see. Expected goals. So Everton had the edge there. Southampton with their possession style definitely shining through, 65%. Sean Dyche don't care about the football. Him just want he might have give it the Mourinho quote. You could have gone with the ball. Me no business. We go with the points. So Sean Dyche pre the thing. But this time he went home with nothing, not the ball or the points. So 1-0 to Southampton. Tough on them because I think Everton were the better team overall in the game. But when you don't put away a chance, this is what can happen to you in the Prem. So that's exactly what reached them. They had 3 big chances and they missed every one. So yeah, put one of those away, at least you go home with a point. But they weren't able to do so. So Southampton beating Everton, big win. Maybe they'll look back later in the season if they stay up and say, okay, this was the start of saving ourselves in the Prem. Because sometimes you just need to see that win happen, in front of your fans, have that feel good, and maybe that can kickstart if some of those losses turn to draws and the games you were drawing, now you might start to win. I don't know if that will be the case for Southampton. I still feel like they're a bit short in quality to stay up in the league, but one thing's for sure, they are getting healthier. So, like Lalana in the fold again. Kyle Walker-Peters has experience. Bednarek a lot of experience as well. Jack Stevens, who was the captain, experienced. So, maybe they have enough to see them over the line, but I just feel like this league is so competitive and I just don't know if they're going to garner enough points to stay up. But let's see. I had Everton going down along with them, but Everton lately has got some good results. So they have kind of eased off some of that relegation pressure. But, 2-3 more results like this and they'll be right back there again. So we'll continue to track their progress. So that was the games on Saturday, people. Now, actually, no, there was one more game Saturday in the afternoon. It was Wolves and Crystal Palace. This one ended 2-2. What was crazy about this one, people, all 4 goals came within like 17 minutes. So it was just one stretch of action that you saw all the 4 goals. Mateus Cunha, one of my favorite players in the league, honestly. Yeah, he had an 8.2. Didn't score a goal, but definitely had a part to play in both of the goals that were scored for Wolves. Crystal Palace getting 2 goals from set pieces, one from Chalobah from a tight angle, really good finish, and the second from Marquis after a flick on from Munoz from a corner kick routine. So 2 set piece goals for Crystal Palace, 2 open play goals for Wolves, and Wolves finally starting to get at least a little bit more out of their decent performances. I thought this game though was relatively even. I mean, Crystal Palace, I would say, I want to say maybe they were a little bit better, but I just feel like the spells that Wolves were good, they were really good, So I'm not really sure, but I would say Palace maybe edged it slightly. But that 2-1 was also fair, yeah, I think splitting the points in this one is probably fair, people. So 2-2 this one ended. Wolves and Crystal Palace. I think both teams probably will look back at the season so far and say, okay, this game maybe I could have gotten more out of. I think both teams will be a little bit disappointed with the points tally, but I think Wolves, out of all the teams that are kind of really far down the table, I believe that they to me have the most potential to like make a move because I just feel like they have lost games and stuff, but they actually have been decent performers like almost every game. You know what I mean? I just think if they can just cut out the mistakes and just the lapses, they will start to turn some of these games into points. Let's see. Garden. I was watching a West Ham channel earlier, and the host said he don't want Antonio in the team, which seems to me it is not for football reasons, which is madness. Well, it can't be for football reasons. So yeah, VAR was on Wolves' side this game against Palace. Yeah, you think VAR was on them side? What incident am I forgetting? I don't know, but Wolves supposed to have more points, brother. That may tell you. To me, them really deserve more than what them have. Them not play three bad at all. But yeah, this was two all very exciting games, especially the second half. The first half was good too, but all the goals came in the second. Um, yeah, decent little game. I think Glasner, while the parts have changed and stuff, and he's still kind of searching. I do think that their performances have gotten a little better the past few weeks. So, they might be a team to look out for to get a little bit more consistent and perhaps cause a few more scares, more similar to what we saw out of them last season. I think the new players that have come in are, finally getting into their own as far as just picking up on the nuances of this coach's system and whatnot. So yeah, I think they are work in progress, but getting better. And I think Wolves just need a little more luck, to be honest. I was surprised but happy that the coach started Sarabia. I just feel like they're wasting a player. Like there's a player in there, but I guess I don't know if him and the coach kick off or what, but he just has been really, really used, and he played poorly in this game. But I just feel like why have a player like that and not use him at all? You know what I mean? It's not like you have all these other great players playing over him. So yeah, you just need to include him. I think he's a decent player. But yeah, that was the Saturday fixtures, people. Wolves, Crystal Palace sharing the points at the Molyneux. All right, so let's move on to the Sunday fixtures now, people. So the first game of the morning was a tough one for the Villains and Leon Bailey. This one ended 4-1, people. Sorry, people. One moment, I forgot to backside this whole time. This whole time me there talk to myself, people. Jeez, I'm peace. I say some good things a while ago, you know. Yo, that's why you must always anybody and any aspiring YouTuber in the comment section, always read your comments after every, I don't know, about 30 seconds to a minute, at least look on them. See? So let this be a lesson to all of those watching and say, I wonder if I want to start a channel or something like that. Read the damn comments, people, or else you lose some of your greatest thoughts. A while ago, I say all these good things about this game, people, and you will never know. But it's all good. Let me see if I can give you a recap of what we did talk about. So basically, we did talk about, well, first and foremost, I'm forward back. I say sorry about the break, people. But what I was talking about is this being a terrible day for Aston Villa. They lose 4-1, right? The second half was pretty much a demolition. Man, them just couldn't stop Spurs, right? And Ali Watkins had some decent chances. I think he missed 2 of them in the game. But they were in the first half, right? I don't know how he missed that one so bad. This one too. Yeah, when he was through and goal. This was the left foot chance from a little wider. Should have done way better with that one for sure. So yeah, his rating wasn't so good. And then John Duran came on, but I thought he was kind of ineffective in this time. For the first time, really. Diego Carlos had to come on for cash. That didn't work out well for him. Didn't have a good performance. Kanza had to go to right back. I think he was doing much better at centre back in the game. And then Pau Torres had a big giveaway before the third goal, so not the best performance for him. But I think, honestly, Ange got it right. Sacrifice Maddison, played 2 more, box-to-box-ish type of players in midfield. Didn't get overrun. Tielemans and Onana been playing really well this season. I don't think they played poorly in the game, but they didn't have as big an influence for sure. And I spoke a lot about Unai Emery having to figure out the right-hand side. If Bailey is not fit, if they're going to play him again, they're going to have to figure out a way to get some width from somebody on that side. Whether it's, you're asking Rodgers to make more runs to the right channel. I don't know what it means, how you're going to do it, but John McGinn don't offer anything down that side. I think Destiny Udogie probably had the most easy game in this game. He could just focus on attacking, playing inverted left back and doing underlapping runs with the left winger and all these things, because he had nothing going back against him the other way. I think that was a big issue for them, and it's going to continue to be if John McGinn refuses to play at any point on that touchline. You know what I mean? So, Bailey's health is paramount, I think. And if Bailey's not healthy, play Jaden Philogene, then you're going to need some width on that side. And I think on the left side they're good, because even though Ramsey cuts in all the time and is basically another number 10 a lot of the time, Digne provides the width. Then he's not willing to send Matty Cash up, because neither one of his 2 midfielders really sit and provide any cover for the defense when they have attacked. They go up and they're arriving in the box late and all these things. So Cash is the one who has to sit back. So there's just no width on that right-hand side. Even if you look at the stats, right? If you look at the stats for Aston Villa in this game, I haven't looked at this yet, people, but you see it? Aston Villa stats. Look at how light this area in the attacking third on the right is compared to every other attacking part. It's because the ball barely reaches in this area. McGinn is not there. There's no one from Aston Villa in this area at all. So everything comes through the middle and from the left, and the most shaded area in the attacking third is down the left. And that's where Digne and Ramsey are overlapping and overloading, creating those spaces down this side. They need to create, I'm not saying they have to balance it perfectly, but there's just nothing down the right now, and that lack of variation really causing problems for them. If you look at this game especially, right, they had the big chances created and stuff, but they pretty much all came from one side of the field. Imagine how much more they could be creating if they actually were utilizing both sides of the pitch. You know what I mean? So I think that's a big problem for them right now, something that they'll have to figure out. I think Ange is kind of learning a little bit more. I think he would have been stubborn last year and tried to make the Kulusevski, Madison, and any other midfielder work for too long. He changed it up in this game and paid big dividends for him. And I know a lot of Spurs fans will be extremely pleased to see Solanke get his, I want to say it's his first brace for the club, but I could be wrong. But I think it is his first brace for the club so far since he's been there. And Brennan Johnson continues his goal scoring form, getting another one in this one. So, yeah, Richarlison makes a goal contribution, pulls his hamstring at the same time. This guy is very solid, people. I'm beginning to realize that. And James Madison, who I don't even think was going to play, had to come on for Richarlison and repay the manager by scoring in injury time and just putting that in his brain again. Like, okay, I know you say I can't play this midfield role, but put me on the field because I can do things for your coach. So let's see. Is it something that we only see him sticking away from because it was Aston Villa they were facing? When they play other opponents, will we see the midfield with Madison and Kulusevski again? That's something that we'll have to wait and see, people. But Tottenham, big win. Aston Villa, not the best for you people at all. Check in the comment section just in case. Yo, I don't know if it was 20 minutes, Charles, but it was a good 5 at least. Chat ever so often. Yeah, man, me know stats. My fault that. No, I wasn't reading the comments. I know the stats I didn't laugh. Yo, but some know say the people them are some true fans, Them they watch me move my mouth and I try lip read or something. I don't know, because I never left. But still there. Big up on yourself, man. Respect. Alright, so the next game, people. The next game, there was only 2 games on Sunday, so I think the next one is the Man U game, yeah. So this was Man U and Chelsea, people. Now, I had high hopes for this game because we saw in the midweek on the road the free-flowing Man U with the shackles off, playing with all this freedom, no pressure. Well, it didn't really turn out to be that kind of affair in this one. I thought both teams, really lacked that quality and cutting edge. I mean, apart from a few moments of brilliance from Cole Palmer, the game was, quite a tactical battle. I mean, someone like me who, really deep dive and analyze these things, I enjoyed it from that standpoint. But from a quality point of view, the game really lacked quality. A lot of misplaced passes, unforced errors, bad controls and things of that nature. There was a bit too much of that for my liking, but it was a tactical battle. I thought both coaches definitely had decent game plans on how they set up the teams. One thing I can say is the first time I saw, and I could be wrong, but it's the first time I saw Ugarte and Casemiro playing in the pivot together. I think it did work out for them for the most part. I know Ugarte's stats don't look so good, but I don't think he was really terrible, to be honest. He was guilty of giving the ball away a few times, but at the start his work rate overall was very good. He did tire a lot in that second half though, so I could see that he was really tired. Rashford got a 6.2 in this one. I don't really think he was so bad though, to be honest. I mean, I guess because they counted that chance at the end of the first half as a big chance, I guess. But I didn't think the technique was so bad, and it was very close to going in. Just hit the top side of the crossbar. But yeah, 6.2 seemed a little harsh for him for how he played, But what can I say? I thought Garnacho was worse than him, to be honest, on the day. He was very wasteful, made some poor decisions in the box, I thought. One thing I will say about him though, he's an all-action player. I mean, he's gonna do something. Might not be the best thing, but he's gonna do something. And then Chelsea, on the other hand, as I said, apart from a few Cole Palmer great touches, Caicedo had a brilliant goal. Can't take that from him, and played decent otherwise as well. I just feel like the 1-1 result for me was probably the fairest result. if anybody was gonna win the game though, I might give the slight edge to Manchester United because they did create more chances than Chelsea on the day. And yeah, I think this Bruno chance was decent. Honestly, top of the box here. Expect him to do better. Garnacho was the easiest chance in the world. Yeah, this one was the penalty. Yeah, he should have done better with this. The shot was too straight. Yeah, they had enough chances, man. Jeez, quite a bit. So yeah, they edged the expected goals, but Chelsea got the point on the day. The shots were quite even, 12-11. As you can see, Man U had 3 more big chances created. But Chelsea, of course, a little bit more passes attempted, things of that nature. Then shots on target, Man U had a slight edge, 4-3. Both teams did hit the woodwork, though. Of course, I think Rashford, I think Madueke also hit the woodwork. Then inside the box, even. Okay, let's look at the entries. Very, very even on the entries, 47-46 in favor of Chelsea. So yeah, the game was pretty even. I mean, a draw pretty fair, but when you count the chances, I would say Man U slight edge. But I think a draw was a decent enough result, to be honest. I don't know if Man U did enough to really force home that big chance advantage that they had. And definitely it was never really a sustained pressure, honestly, from either team. I mean, like I said, it's a very tactical game. A lot of it played in the midfield. You'd have to really be somebody who would love football to talk about this game for a long time. And I mean, so I could talk about it for a long time because I saw a lot of things the coaches were doing to try to nullify the opponent. But as I said, just the quality just didn't really shine through. Just one of those games where it just felt very stalemate-ish, at certain points. Neither team, especially I remember when that second half started, it was just like a 5-10 minute stretch where both teams just couldn't really connect more than 5-10 passes at once. They just kept giving the ball away. So yeah, it was a little bit. Based DJ Gigs, you just I expect say really your device now playing a sound. No, this time it was me, Gigs. I have to take credit for that foolishness the way the squad. Yeah, man, but I have to say, big up to the people over there because I think when we did start but the show was about 15 of you, and when the silence I go on, we say 2-3 more people stay. It's like, little mute excitement. But yeah, that is a lesson. Because sometimes, I try to engage with the comment section a lot or as much as possible. But of course, when I'm analyzing a game and I'm in the middle of it, I'm gonna probably get into a long-winded type of thing. And I did that without checking the damn mute button or the comments. So that was my bad. But yeah, people, if you're there still and you haven't already, let me just remind you to smash the like button, people. If you're brand new, you just find in Gooner TV. We're here every week to discuss the EPL. We do a preview show and a review show. And then, of course, we do much more content around football. Other than that, we are huge Jamaica football fans, whether it's reggae boys, reggae girls, youth teams. So we have a lot of content surrounding those teams. And also, we follow a lot of Jamaican football. So it may be a CONCACAF Caribbean live match, it may be Women's Champions Cup, it may be JPL game, it may even be a schoolboy game from time to time, but you'll get live matches, EPL, Champions League. I think this week I'll probably do the Arsenal Inter game on Wednesday, so look out for the thumbnail for that, people, if you want to be a part of that live watch along with the Arsenal game this week in the Champions League. All right, so yeah, put that out there from now, people. When I do the Arsenal game, I put that in the atmosphere so it can happen. All right, but yeah, man, we'll be here Wednesday. So if you have seen my live watch alongs before, it will be the same format this time. It will just be Arsenal, and yeah, we will have the commentary and we will throw the game in the Discord if people need to watch. I think most people can get the Champions League game, so that might not be necessary. But yeah, we'll be around to do that because I think Arsenal definitely need to bounce back this week. All right, starting with this game against Inter. All right, people. So this was the last game of the weekend, and what a finish to this one. So Fulham pretty much looked like they were gonna go down at home, 1-0 to Brentford. But enters Harry Wilson in the 86th minute, I believe it was, and Harry Wilson, or 82nd minute, sorry, and Harry Wilson 10 minutes later equalized to make it 1-1, and then 5 minutes after that, in the 97th minute, he made it 2-1 after some good work by the USA left back Anthony Robinson to find him for a cross. So 2 goals off the bench in a match-winning performance for Harry Wilson. Yeah, not a bad day's work. 82nd minute, the game was done by about the 100th minute or so. So yeah, 18 minutes of work, a clean 9.1 man of the match performance. Can't really do much better than that or ask for more, right? Um, in this game, I thought Brentford really was not good value for their 1-0 lead. I mean, Fulham pretty much was dominating the possession, the field tilt, the chances, every single aspect of this game. I thought Fulham was the better team right through. The expected goals tell that same story. Now, the big chances were even, so I have to say, a lot of the possession, maybe they didn't carve out enough clear-cut chances, but definitely peppered the keeper. 10 saves made, people. 10 saves Flecken make today, as opposed to just one for the goalkeeper for Fulham, Bern Leno. He had 11 corners, he had 300 and more attempted passes. Let's see, shots on target 12-2. Statistical domination really. Of course, 2-1 was the score, and that's the main statistic that matters. But yeah, final third entries. So that's basically a part of the story there as well. You saw the big chances being even. All that possession, the entries, you'd want that to be a bigger disparity. So that just goes to show that, Brentford did a really good job keeping organized, not allowing them to just, live in their final third per se. But they spent a lot of time in there. 236 passes attempted in the final third. So that's a whole bunch of people. Yeah, but Fulham, statistically, balance of play, I would say they were the deserved victors. Of course, we have a big baller in this team for Brentford, as usual, customary. Can lock your eye and know say you get more than a 7 or better for sure. I start call Ethan 7 or better. 90 minutes played, 0.01 assists. So that don't really much. 10 clearance. This man always have a bunch of clearance, boy. I tell you. 3 block shots as well. 1 interception, 1 tackle, no dribble pass. 2 of 3 ground duels, 4 of 8 aerials. It probably want that aerial to be a little higher. 54 touches, 12 possession loss. So not the best possession day for them, but they were under the cash. So you had to go long a few times, and it was only 1 of 7. So 23 of 33, 6 of those missed passes would have been long passes, and then 4 shorter ones weren't connected. So not the best passing accuracy on the day. That probably dragged him down slightly. He did attempt 2 dribbles and was successful on 1. So Ethan Pinnock keeping his standard right where it always is, around 7 or more, even in a loss. And today there were no signs of him really being the culprit to cause a goal to score or anything of that nature. So that's also good to know. All right. Ethan Pinnock has 1 game left to get through, and then he should be joining up with us in Jamaica to face the US. So that is all the games for the weekend, people. Now let's look at what I know you've been waiting for, and that is the league table currently. Checking with the chat. Make sure it's a yeah, man. Brentford game was mad in the end. Mad. Brentford, I mean, if we're being honest, bro, they really didn't deserve anything out of that game. I mean, 1 brilliant shot, and the rest them was just kind of holding on. I mean, very organized, good defending, but didn't offer much. All right, so Wolves, good value for this 3, not good value for these 3 points. I believe, if I'm being honest with myself right now, looking back, Wolves should probably have 2 wins and about 4. But I'd say 2 wins and 5 draw. or not even so many, 2 wins and let's say 2 wins and about 4 draw. 2 wins, 4 draw. And 4 loss. So I put them on what? 10? Yeah man, I'm sure they're about 10. That's what me that say. But them they 3. So life go. Minus 13. Then you have Southampton, 4 points. 1 win, 1 draw, and 8 loss. So you got the 1 win which moved them up to 19. Then in 18th you have Ipswich. So right now, 2 of the 3 that I predicted to go down at the end of the season are there. Ipswich and Southampton. The third club I had in there is Everton, who currently are 4 points clear of the drop. So Crystal Palace in between those 2 teams with the 7 points. Then Leicester, 15th and 10. West Ham, terribly. Lopetegui. I think they should give him more time, let him get another window or 2 just to get some more players in, because I don't think he's as bad a coach as what we're seeing, but he's really, really making me want to change my mind as to how good of a coach he is, because some of the things I see him doing, I don't know how I think I'm going to work. West Ham 11 points, Man U to 12 points up to 13th, so I think they moved up 1 place. Brentford 13 points in 12th. Newcastle after their victory up to 11th and 15 points. Bournemouth in 10th and 15 points as well with a slightly better goal difference. Fulham 15 points on the season after getting that big late result to get them to 9th place. Then we have Brighton in 8th now, 16 points. Tottenham also on 16, but a very good goal difference of plus 11 puts them in 7th. Aston Villa now to 6th. And there are 3 teams on 18 points. Villa plus 2 goal difference. Arsenal plus 6 on 18 points. And Chelsea plus 8 on 18 points as well. So Chelsea rounding out the top 4. Forest in 3rd on 19 points. And then we have City in 2nd on 23. And Liverpool in 1st on 25 points. So the only 2 clubs in the Prem in the 20s right now, Liverpool and Man City. So the league is starting to look like what it looked like maybe 4 seasons ago, 5 seasons, 6 seasons, 7 seasons, for the last a lot of seasons. Liverpool and City risen to the top of that table. All right, so now people, we have gone through every fixture of the week, so you know what time it is. It is now time to reveal how the people them did in the predictions, right? Or so up top, pin up with less tackles and more clearance. Yeah, can't get to the ball for tackle it, him. Just get rid of it and clear it. Champion League predictions. No, so I'm not doing no predictions. I will be streaming the game on Wednesday though, so of course, never with the live stream, but we start the stream a little earlier. So if anything, we can just do some in the moment predictions that day there, you know what I mean? But yeah, we're not planning for like call out all the game, man. No, we're not gonna do that. But yeah, it is live. Yeah, man. It's a late night show. You don't know my style. Them time I usually can give some content, so we're there in a late night. All right, so let me get this on the screen for you guys. So this, people, is the standings for the week. All right, so this is the week 10, and as I said, this is the first week I can remember nobody getting a winning record. So 500, 5-5 won the day, and of course it was a tiebreaker that got the win. I think this might be his first win in the weekly standings. My brother in Mass Sports World, another Gooner, big Canada men's national team fan as well. He had the 5-5 record with 3 correct scores, edging out my good brethren Hot Chili, who always there. I give him picks. He was 5-5 with 2 correct scores, so I had to give the title this week to MSW. That is like goal difference in this league. So the more correct scores you get, the better chance you actually win. All right, Biggs G 3-7 with 1 correct score. Duke tied for 3rd with him with 1 correct score as well. JGTV, I was 2-8 this week, and I swore I would have the crown, or I don't even know what you call it. It's not a crown. I would have the dubious title of being Donkey of the Week as the host of the show. But that did not have to happen because fan of mine that existed who was 1-9 and one correct score. But Fana, you better be glad for that one correct score because if you never get that, you'd have been on this next page right here. I just want to apologize from now, Pristine. Don't know you personally, and I hate to put anybody as the donkey, but the numbers don't lie, Pristine. So you, my friend, are the donkey for the week. I need to start to get some sound effects so you can hear the donkey make noise and thing, you know? We're gonna work on that, people. But Pristine, I'm sorry. 1-9, and you didn't have any correct scores, so you didn't have any company from Fana this week. He did win the tiebreak, so he didn't get to see his name in lights next to the donkey on the screen, people. So yeah, that was the standings for the week. As I said, why, if anybody was watching this show to try to get advice or anything on picking games, I hope they weren't this week because believe me, we have never done so poorly as a collective, people. So we need to get better. I am cheering for you guys because I don't want this to be what people think of the Jason Gooner TV and his fan base. We don't know nothing about ball, people. 5-5. That was the best we could do. Damn, it's rough. But to be fair to us, yo, there were some results this week that were just kind of mad. You know what I mean? So we can't really, I've started think about the box. I've started think outside the box a little bit more, cause the game here get tighter and tighter and harder to predict. You see me? But yeah, it's all in good fun, people. It's all in good fun. But congrats to Moss. Big up yourself. I'm sure you'll be back on Friday to defend your title. And Pristine, we just have to work on it this week. Get out of this donkey of the week area and move on up the table. You know what I mean? And me have to do better too. As the host, we are talk for 2 hours. How we can make? No, man, this not right, man. This not right, man. I have nothing for blame this week. The one when you come in the bad, they blame the alcohol, but I can't blame nothing this week. Just do poor, So it go. And it's crazy, because somebody there talked to me about the prediction show half year, and them there asked me if does anybody like consistently get over like 75-80% with the picks? And I said no. And I said, well, I don't know how well you guys are doing then. I'm like, well, I don't know if 80% is even realistic, especially not over like the course of a season. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's possible, but it'll be very hard. Anyway, people, let me, we are avid FPL players as well. I know some of the people that watch the program are also in the league that I'm in, the I Am Sure Sports League. So big up to Mannings, man, for providing a league we can all enjoy and see who gets the bragging rights in the end. I must say, people, this week was not the best week for me in the FPL. As you can see, I'm currently in third. I was second last week. Luckily for me, there wasn't really anybody that, Owen Gray, big week for him, he got 64 points, but clearly he was a ways back last week because, didn't really move much past me. And, Philip Clark, who was right there up at the top with me, only beat me by 3 this week. So didn't really make much of a dent. Now, Adrian Allen made a big move, getting closer up into fourth with a 62-point week. But let me show you why I feel like I done this week. So I made one transfer this week, people, and I want you to look at what I did. Where's my game week history? So how do I see my transactions? Okay, here we go. Transfer history. All right, so look what I did this week now, people. So I decided to pick up Bernardo because I go against everything, I not really normally look on the FPL scout selection and all this foolishness, I'm look that weekend, I'm see them put Bernardo in it. I'm say, yo, them brother always have a way for know when somebody just randomly do something, So I had a choice, right? I had 3 options to change for Bernardo, and I went with the wrong option. I could have gotten rid of Smith Rowe to get Bernardo, kept Rogers, but I decided to get rid of Rogers and keep Smith Rowe. and keep Semenyo. Now, the Semenyo one would be great to keep, but not only did I make the wrong transfer, people, but look at my starting lineup this week and why I only had 36 points. So I went with Raya in goal, right? I think that was a good choice because my other keeper is Flecken, who beat him by 1 point. So maybe I could have gone with Flecken there. So I would have got 1 extra point. Vardiel luckily got a goal, so my backline didn't give me anything extra. I had Cole, who was quiet, didn't score in the game, but got a bonus point, so got 3. Smith Rowe played the majority of the game, didn't score or assist. Same goes for Bernardo and Saka, playing the majority of the games, but not scoring or assisting. I think Bernardo played the whole game. Haaland again scoreless, so only got 4 because I captained him. Wissa played the majority of the game, didn't score or assist. Chris Wood was the only one. Now, what name have I not called, people? Antoine Semenyo, who I had sitting on my bench getting a nice fat 10 points, people. So after not picking Semenyo to get rid of, to pick up Bernardo, I still benched the man. Why did I do that? I don't know. But everybody's a genius after the fact, people. But that is really what caused me to not make a move. I mean, even this week, when you look at the table, with the leader in the league only getting 39, I really miss a chance to go to first in this week. Because if I had any half decent of a week, let's say even 50 points, I would be in first right now. But it's okay. It's only week, 10? So we have plenty more game weeks to make up for this bad week, right, people? So nothing wrong. We're in fighting, striking distance. And in this fantasy game, on any given week, you might even crack 100, So this now is my draft leagues. I'm in 2 different leagues in the draft. And of course, draft is a little different because how do I have it like this? There we go. Draft is a little different because you can't have like multiple teams can't have the same player. So you only have your set 15 players on your team, right? So this is one of the leagues. Crystal Ball FC is my name in this league, and I'm in first by about 20 something odd points. So not the biggest lead in the world, but still leading. And I had the best week this week, but the second place player was not too far behind. But this was my team for the week. I could have had more points again in this league. You see, Semenyo and Flecken on my bench instead of Raya. And pick your poison. Rashford, who I picked up this week, why I don't know. And Trossard. Luckily, the Tottenham players helped me out. I had Johnson and Solanke, and they both, had great turnouts for me. And of course, Salah has been consistent this season. I have him in both of these draft leagues, and he's a part of the reason why I'm leading both. And Cunha did get an assist. I think he got a bonus as well for just playing a good game and getting some extra points. So Havertz and Trossard really have been killing me lately. So more than likely, I'm going to find somebody to replace Trossard. I just think he's off form, and it's just not working out where he's playing right now. I think I picked up Rashford mainly because I knew the fixtures were very favorable coming up, and I kind of want to just see what kind of Rashford we get under the new manager. Sometimes certain players just have a bounce when the new manager comes in. I don't know if it will be Rashford, but I just feel like it's advantageous to keep him around. I think I'll definitely get rid of Trossard next week, though. And then in my other league now, I have a pretty sizable lead in this one. I think it's more like 50 odd points in this one. I had 41 here, and I had Semenyo starting this league, thankfully. So it's the only time I got the points from Semenyo out of 3 teams that I have him on. Salah, again, as I said before. But on the bench, I didn't have Leif Davis starting, and I was very upset with myself because, Gabriel away to Newcastle probably wasn't the best choice. But I always just feel bad if Gabriel play and I don't start him because, he can, any given corner, I'm going to score. And Konate playing Brighton, I just went with Liverpool and their, stingy defense, but I should have known Brighton pretty much scores like almost every game, So, again, I'm a genius after the fact, people. But I think this team going to need a little bit of tweaking. Some people that I probably want to get rid of. Eze should be back after the international break. And like I said, I don't think he has fully broken out yet this season. I think he's gonna have a stretch where he does a lot. Just I'm gonna hold on to him and bank on that. I tried with Bonanate the last few weeks, but of course since I've picked him up, I think he's blanked the last two. So yeah, I don't know if I'll continue to persist, but I do see his influence in that particular team growing. So if they get chances, he's probably going to be a part of it. So that will just be based on who's out there to get, right? But I'll give you guys an update on the preview show and tell you what kind of road I took as far as all these teams and all these different things. All right, so that is my FPL check-in for the week, people. All right, so we're almost at the 2 hour mark, but I don't think we're gonna make it all the way there. All right, before I go, guys, let me know. I did ask a question when there was no audio, and I never got no response. So there's still some of you in the building. I want to know, based on what you have seen. I think most of us in here are probably Jamaica fans, as well. 0 to 100%, where would you put Leon Bailey's fitness at right now, based on what you've seen? Because I don't know if I can put him much past like maybe 60. That would probably be the highest end. I'd say if there was a range, I would say like 55 to 60 right now. That's what I'm seeing. But what do you guys see? I think 65 at the most. But I think there's a full 35 to 40% that him still just can't get to right now because of his ailments and recurring things going on with his body and stuff. But that's what I see, people. I don't see a fully fledged, a full going Bailey right now at all. So I'm a bit worried about that going into this window. I know the squad announcement is Friday, so I just don't know. I don't know if I've seen enough consistency in performance and level of performance to feel like he's fully fit to return. I know he said all the right things in the media. I saw the Sky Sports interview where he talked about his relationship with McLaren, even if it's one that's been just over the phone. He seems very positive about the way going forward under this manager. So yeah, I think it's gonna be quite a press conference Friday. Depending on what direction we go. We know we have some other players as well that we've heard good news on as far as passports are concerned. So, how many new faces will we see? Really looking forward to seeing the press conference. On another note, a bit off topic of the EPL, I just want to say a shout out to the JFF and in particular Simon Preston, Dennis Strong, I think from 876 Stream, I believe Yuan was there, and maybe Conrad as well. And then, of course, the three supporters groups. I think it was the Reggae Boys Fan Club, or the Reggae Football Fan Club, the Reggae Boys Supporters Club, and the Reggae Boys community. So all three of those entities were represented on that live Zoom meeting. Sadly, I was a bit busy with work, but from what I did see live and what I watched back on the replay, I do think that it was a great initiative to at least get the conversation going. My hope is that it's just not that good minutes were taken and all those things that were discussed can be revisited and rehashed so that they can be implemented in some way. Because I did hear some good ideas brought to the table, and hopefully we can see some kind of action with them as we move forward. I have seen improvement on that, just with engagement in general, and it's definitely helping because we have seen a spike in the attendance at the home games. I was a bit worried, especially after the Cuba result. Would the fans come back out after after that 0-0 that they saw and were kind of disappointed. But yeah, I mean, the answer was there to see that, yeah, they will come back. And, they got a little bit more than they got for the Cuba game. And my guess is, with the opponent that we have coming up next being that of the United States, I expect just the added, United States against Jamaica euphoria that we might get will contribute greatly to an even bigger turnout. So, yeah, I am really looking forward to this window. I wish I could be a part of it live, both of them. I will not be able to go to St. Louis, sadly, and I will not be able to go to Jamaica, sadly. It is just not that time of year, people. We are in the crunch in my line of work, and yeah, I would like for my children to have the most enjoyable Christmas possible. So Mans is gonna put in some work right now. You see it? We work now, and we reap the rewards later. Yes. But yeah, I am just so looking forward to this week of football coming up. I think one thing is for sure, people. I can tell you from watching these first 10 weeks of the season, I just can't envision a Premier League this year where, two teams just run away from everyone else, or even one team for that matter. I just feel like this is going to be a remarkably close season. I think, every season there have been less and less teams that you can count as wins in the Premier League. Yes, City has won the league 6 out of 7 years or whatever the case is, but I don't think that in itself, because I have heard arguments that, is the English league becoming not necessarily, well, they say Farmers League jokingly, but really it stems from one team winning, right? And if it's not that team, it's one other team. And that is a problem, I think. But I think this is the start now, this season, of a multi-team title race. I just feel like it's gonna be. I think I told somebody the other day. I really think that about 5 teams could potentially win the title. Probably 4 in reality, but I honestly feel like those 4 have a genuine chance. When you talk about Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, I think all 4 of those teams really have a chance. I think Chelsea of the 4 has the most question marks just due to the fact that, well, I would say 2 of the teams have the most question marks right now. Well, all 4 of them have a level of a question mark. Liverpool, yes, they have the quality and the experience in the players, but the manager is not experienced in this league in a title race. So I think that's going to play in at some point. Then you look at Manchester City. I think their question marks right now is their system and their probability of winning and just their overall gameplay, is it the same without the Ballon d'Or winner in the team over such an extended period of time? And then when you factor in him being out, coupled with De Bruyne out, barely any wingers available and fit right now, defenders out, or if they are in, nursing injuries and still playing, these things can factor in over time. And I think we're seeing some of that now with the first result that happened last week. Then you go to Arsenal. I think the same problems that I see existing in Chelsea's defense, I see that Arsenal is having a similar issue in attack. So they have their question marks, right? And then when you look at who was the other team I said? Said Liverpool already, I said City, said Chelsea, and I said Arsenal. Yeah, so those are the 4 teams I really see. I think Tottenham, I just feel like they're still a bit thin, especially around the back. I think the addition of Dragusin will help, but you saw towards the second half of that game, Romero had to come out as well. I don't think that Davis and Dragusin can get the job done over an extended period of time. So I think they just need to kind of develop certain areas of the pitch as far as depth, and they won't be so far away from, like, I don't know if they'll ever win it, but just being in the conversation again. And yeah, Forest, I mean, I guess that's the dark horse for the top 4 or whatever the case is. I don't think they're title contenders, but they do have a proper structure and a good solid base. And if they can keep Chris Wood on form, if you have a striker and a goalkeeper and a defense, then you have a chance to get points in this league. So yeah, So Richard Edwards said either Man City or Liverpool here this, Yeah, I mean, it's looking like that based on the table now, but I just haven't seen that level of dominance from the two of them in their games that makes me believe that they're just going to run away with it. You know what I mean? They're going to have their ups and downs and hiccups as well. I think Liverpool is going to have a stretch of games where they don't get the results they want. I think, I think that's still in them. If the games are tough enough and if they get, they have been pretty. Besides what Jota, I'd say everybody's been pretty much healthy this year for Liverpool, and the keeper, of course. But I don't think that the reserve keeper, obviously, he's not as good as their main one. But it's not like he's just gonna make the ship sink just being in the goal. So yeah, man, a lot to digest from this week. I thought it was a mad week with results. I think it just shows that the parity in the league is getting more and more as the years go by, as teams are able to spend a bit more money. Just due to the amazing revenues that the league generates. Teams like Bournemouth and these teams, they're obviously they garnered a lot of money from the sale of Solanke, but over time they have really done some good recruitment and got some good players in. The Brightons of the world, the Bournemouths of the world, a lot of these, mid-table, with aspirations of getting to Europe clubs, they've done really, really well with their resources, and they just keep on recruiting players. They lose players, they bring in new ones, and it's like they just work for some of these teams. So yeah, man, it's a little early, Richard. So I'm not going to rule out some other teams so early. I mean, we're still at the stage of the season where, look at Arsenal, for example, 2 losses in a row. And, we're suddenly 7 points behind. So, these things are going to happen in the league. And my hope is, I think where we really messed up is not really necessarily losing games, but some of these draws we had, we should have converted to wins. And I think that's been a big issue. I mean, we only have 2 L's, but we have like 3 other games where we drop points too. So, that to me has been a huge difference. Because to be honest, 2 of those games are wins. That 18 is 22, and we're right there. So, it is what it is. We move, but it's not good enough, Teta. 10 games so far, only 50% wins. That's not going to get the job done. So, we'll see how you do in this next 10. I think we need about a 70 to 80% win rate in this next 10 if we want to, make any kind of inroads into the lead that the people have on us so far. So let's see if we can get that done. Big up yourself, Chris Smith. Thanks for joining, even though it's a little late and we're done. But big up yourself, bro. And if you're interested in the breakdowns and stuff, you can always watch it back in a late night. Yeah, man, we have a very tough game against Inter on Wednesday for sure. And I will be here, people, to deal with the banter if we lose, because I will be streaming that game live that day. All right, people. So yeah, man, big up to everyone in the building that turned out. Again, the champion for the week. Big up yourself, Mass Sports World. Thanks for contributing to the channel with your predictions and good win. Donkey of the week. I'm so sorry, Pristine, but somebody has to get it, and it was you. You only got 1 win out of 10, and none of them were correct scores. None of that one wasn't a correct score. So you sadly had to get the dubious title of Donkey of the Week for the predictions. All right. So big up to everybody that is tuning. All the people I'm always supporting. We really do appreciate it. Thanks to all the people that were trying to tell me in the comment section that I was muted for that little 5-minute part of the show. So if you watch this on the replay, people, I can warn you from now. About a little over an hour into the show, I was muted for about 5 good minutes, people, and wasted some of the best analysis this world has ever seen. Not heard, because I couldn't hear it. But anyway, big up to all the people that passed through tonight, and thanks again for the support to the channel. We really, really, really do appreciate it. And yeah, man, until next time, people, it's your boy Jason Gooner. This has been Jason Gooner TV EPL review show, week 10. And until Friday, we'll be back with some more EPL content with the week 11 preview show right before that international window. All right, people. So look out. We'll have a lot of content this week. Of course, it is a Reggae Boy squad selection week. Arsenal is playing in the midweek, and we need to kind of do an all-encompassing Jamaica show at some point during this week before that squad drops. All right, so look out for all that content this week. We do have some free time during the week, so look out for especially the Wednesdays and Thursdays of this week. You'll probably see some content from Gooner TV. All right, so big up to all the massive, and thanks again for the support. We're out of here, people. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. It's your boy Gooner TV. Have a great evening. Big up yourselves.